What is going on, everybody? You got Tone here, and I am back bringing you guys week number 8 of the NPA Minors, the team builder portion of this video. This is the last week of the NPA Minors before the playoffs start, and we are still in a position to make it to the playoffs, even though our last battle ended with us getting absolutely destroyed by Webs plus Dragon Dance Gyarados. But the matchup was pretty bad in my favor, not going to lie. I'm not going to make any excuses, though. I could have done some things better. The matchup could have been a little bit better, but again, nothing that I can't overcome if I have to play Melantosh again in the future. But that is then. This is now. And the playoff implications still apply for this week. Like I said last week in the team builder, if I win one of my last 2 battles, I am guaranteed in the playoffs, and this is the last week to make that into fruition with this battle against Spanik, coach of the Reno Acerolas. So Spanik is a replacement coach. We were initially supposed to play Frieslander in this battle, but he left for personal reasons, so we're playing Spanik instead. And it's a very, very important game for us both, because if I win, like I said, I guarantee my spot in the playoffs, and if Spanik wins, he gets a spot in the playoffs, and I'm eliminated from playoff contention, which I don't really want to happen, especially with this team that I acquired. Also, guys, if you did miss the ending of the Week 7 battle, we did make some more transactions heading into the final week of the regular season. We dropped the Blade, we dropped Cradilly, we picked up Tangrowth, and we picked up Aggron in its place. So I finally have that ground resist, so I'm very happy about using Tangrowth again. Will it come to this battle? Who knows? We'll see. But as you see, my opponent's team is very threatening and sort of probably one of the most balanced teams I've seen in this league. I was considering how I would say it's well put together. I mean, there is some flaws, obviously, like somewhat of fire weakness, somewhat of a slow team, a lack. Excuse me. His main way of getting rid of hazards is Mega Diancie, Latias, and Mantine, which I can pressure pretty easily with one of my specific Pokemon, as I'll get to in the team builder. And stuff like Talonflame can be a little bit of an issue because my flying resist is limited to just Aggron, which doesn't want to take a Flare Blitz, and Lantern, which I actually want to do something different with for a change. On top of that, his only real way of getting up hazards against my team is the combination of either Mega Diancie with Stealth Rock, Roserade and Chestnut with Spikes, or Stunfisk with Stealth Rock. So his options for Stealth Rockers are pretty limited, and they both share a weakness with a certain Pokemon's coverage, which again I will get to when I get to the team builder. Again, a couple of his Pokemon are also sitting in the same speed tiers, like his fastest Pokemon being Talonflame, base 126, and then his first 3 Pokemon, the Mega Diancie, the Latias, and the Gengar, are all base 110, and from there it just drops off to 90, and then it keeps going down from there. So my idea was to try to capitalize on the clustered speed tier, his slower mon, and try to take advantage of that as best as I possibly could with my build. So with that all being said and done, let's jump right into the team builder and see what I decided to bring for this battle as we try to lock up our spot in the playoffs. So the first Pokemon you see we have here is the Clefable, making its return after a week off. Stealth Rock, Soft Boil, Moonblast, and Psychic with the leftovers. So this is my way of getting up hazards. I know he has a Mega Diancie, so I easily could have brought Druddigon for this particular reason, trying to get up rocks to pressure the Talonflame and all that stuff. But Druddigon, outside of getting up rocks, didn't really do much else other than try to check stuff like Escavalier, which I don't really expect him to bring in this battle, just because Escavalier's matchup is kinda iffy, especially considering I could be bringing like Flamethrower on my Clefable, I have access to Volcarona, I can run Heat Wave on my Crobat. The list goes on and on from there. So Outside of that, Clefable was just designed to just get up Rock, try to pressure his team with a combination of Moonblast plus Psychic. I know this is Wall by Escavalier, but again, I'm not really expecting Escavalier in the most part. I'm expecting more of us to be like... I'm expecting more of his first 3 Pokemon, and then the last 3, potentially Stunfisk, can come if he doesn't want to use Mega Diancie as a Stealth Rocker, which does make sense. Other than that, stuff like Mantine could be a possibility. Roserade too, but more importantly, I think he's going to bring that Porygon 2 just to try to shut down my setup sweepers, which is why I have Mega Gallade. He does have a way of Mega Gallade with a combination of Latias and Gengar if he does win the speed tie with my Gallade, so that could be a little bit problematic. So other than that, my Clefable is designed to take hits, physical hits from stuff like Chestnut. The EV spread, max HP, and 44 in the special defense ensures that my Clefable can take a Sludge Wave from a max special attack timid non-life orb Gengar from full, and the rest is put into defense to take those physical attacks a little bit better, and the rest is just spread out between special attack and speed. I think the added speed also prevents me from speed tying with Porygon 2. So that is the Clefable's job, to try to get up rocks, pressure his team, and then I have Psychic here to revenge kill a potentially weakened Gengar or Roserade, or try to get Roserade on a switch or something like that. So that is the Clefable. Next up, we have an Assault Vest Diggersby. I think Diggersby has come to every single battle this season. So Earthquake, Fire Punch, Return, and Quick Attack. Fire Punch is just there, just on the off chance he does decide to bring that Escavalier. I didn't want to take any chances this game. Assault Vest Diggersby is my way of taking hits from stuff like Mega Diancie, the Latias. It can take hits from Gengar, barring it's not Life Orb Focus Blast or Z Focus Blast, because both have a chance to one-shot my Diggersby from full, and it also takes on the Roserade pretty nicely, I'm not gonna lie. So, decided to rank this, try to make it as bulky as I possibly could. Adamant Max Attack, try to hit as hard as possible. The speed, I believe, is here for... If I recall correctly, I'm outspeeding a max speed Chestnut. I know it's unlikely that if he does bring Chestnut, it will be max speed, but on the off chance he does try to get a little bit tricky and brings like a belly drum Chestnut, I can outspeed that. I also outspeed stuff like Crawdaunt, which I also am expecting because Crawdaunt does have a very solid matchup in this game. Despite the fact that I have a Tangrowth, it doesn't really matter to the Crawdaunt because it's just that annoyingly scary. So that's pretty much it. Diggersby is designed to come in, take on Mega Diancie, and take on the Latias if it can. Nothing really much else to say about that, but moving right along to our next Pokemon. So we have here our Drapion. For once, it is again not specially defensive, no Assault Vest. I'm bringing Choice Scarf Drapion. And this just has a solid matchup because of the fact that the coverage of the option of moves it has at its disposal just allows me to deal with his 3 main threats, being the Mega Diancie, the Latias, and the Gengar all in one. This has me outspeed all 3 of them, barring Diancie's not like a rock polish set. I don't expect Scarf Gengar because of the fact that I have Drapion. Same thing with the Latias. I don't expect it to be Scarf because I have Drapion. I think it easily Pursuit Trap both of those Pokemon fairly easily if it's locked into the wrong coverage move. So Poison Jab is here for just general stab coverage, hits the Chestnut mainly. Knockoff is here to get rid of items, but Pursuit is just a main move I want to be trying to do to click to get some chip damage and trap the Latias and the Gengar, like I said. And the last move I was debating a little bit back and forth with. I wanted to go Aqua Tail to hit the Talonflame harder, but outside of Talonflame I wouldn't be hitting anything else harder, so I decided to click Poison Jab. And Earthquake does a little bit better job in terms of coverage options, hitting the Mega Diancie, hits the Gengar barring non-air balloon, and it also hits the Stunfisk harder than Poison Jab and whatnot. So EV spread, max attack, adamant nature, hit as hard as I possibly can. The speed lets me outrun I'm pretty sure I outspeed a Jolly Max Speed Talonflame with this investment, and that's pretty much it. I could have did Jolly with enough speed for Jolly Max Speed Roserade, but the odds of him bringing a Scarf Roserade is extremely small considering the multitude of grass resists I have at my disposal. So that is the Drapion. Now we move on to the more offensive part of the team, starting with my Lantern, which is offensive agility 3 attacks Lantern, something I have run in the past back when I was starting Draft League format. This set has come through at least 2 times in the clutch for me with agility, Surf, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam. If you take a look at Spanic's team, top to bottom, if I get some chip, barring the Porygon Tube and the potential for Assault Vest Escavalier, everything else on his team with some chip damage gets destroyed by one of these 3 moves. So Mega Diancie, Surf. I went Surf over Hydro Pump to avoid potentially missing when I need to hit. So it's a pretty important match. So I didn't want to risk the 20% miss chance. So Surf for the Mega Diancie, Latias, Ice Beam, Gengar with some prior damage gets hit by Thunderbolt or Surf, Chestnut, Ice Beam, Crawdon, Thunderbolt. Exclude the Porygon too, because can't really break that without some major damage on it already. Roserade, Ice Beam, Talonflame, Surf, Escavalier, I can wear it down with Surf because of lack of recovery. Mantine, Thunderbolt, Stunfisk, Surf. It pretty much has good coverage for his entire team. So, modest max special attack, hit as hard as I possibly can. 164 in speed lets me outrun Adamant max speed Crawdon, and the rest is put into defense so I can take on Talonflame because my flying resist, like I said, is restricted in this battle. 29 IVs in HP to hit a Life Orb number, and you'll see that I'm running Water Absorb over on my Lantern over Volt Absorb. The main reason being, if I get an agility up with my Lantern, I do not want to get revenge killed by Aqua Jet Crawdon. So I'd rather bait the Crawdon and him go for Aqua Jet, restore my health, and then I click Thunderbolt, and essentially I gain back 14% of my Lantern's health in that exchange. So that is the main reason for Water Absorb over Volt Absorb, because, at least for me, Crawdon is a bigger threat to my team than Stunfisk. I'm not saying Stunfisk is bad, I'm just saying the bigger threat to my team is the Crawdon. So that is the Lantern. Next up, number 5, we have Mega Gallade, with running a very simple SD3 attack set, so with Drain Punch, then Headbutt, Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak is here just for the added priority, and just in case he does decide to bring Scarf Gengar, I can try to pick off sorry about that. I can try to pick off something like Talonflame. Since the Gale Wings nerf, I can pick it off if it's in a weakened state. If I get up a +2, Drain Punch to get some health back, and then Headbutt hits the Gengar, the Roserade, and all that stuff. Though I have to be I'm very wary of Zen Headbutt because I went for it 3 times and 2 times already Gallade has missed, which has cost me in some situations. But this running a very straightforward max attack, max speed, Jolly nature, so I can at least speed tie with the Mega Diancie, the Latias, and the Gengar, barring the latter 2 aren't Scarf and all that stuff. So that is the Mega Gallade. And lastly, we are finally bringing back Brexta, our Musharna, which has not seen much which hasn't seen much since week number 3. So that was a while ago. So no boosting set this time on my Musharna. We are just bringing straight up Trick Room. The combination of Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and HP Flyer does a good chunk to his entire team, again, barring that Porygon 2. Psychic and Dazzling Gleam just gets neutral coverage, and HP Flyer is just on the off chance he does have to bring that Escavalier, and we're rocking the Farium Z just to ensure we can one-hit KO the Latias with Dazzling Gleam, which is kind of a threat in and of itself. Although I could have brought like Unaware Clef in case he was Calm Mind, I didn't want to take that risk, and I felt as though Trick Room would do my team a lot better in the long run. So there you have it. So that's going to be it for the team builder for week number 8. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you can, leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. The battle will be up on Saturday as always, and let's see if we can punch our ticket to the playoffs in the last week of the regular season. So that's gonna be it from me, guys, and until the next time, my name's Anthony, aka Tone, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Later.